Okay, Paraguay is having a great moment. The numbers are growing and growing. The numbers of applications of expats are growing and growing. If you compare 2024 to 2025 to 2026, you will get an increase of 80% of applications. In 2024, we have around 30,000 applications. In 2025, 48,000 applications, and in 2026 it's increased 80%. So more and more people are interested in Paraguay. That more people are interested, you need to be careful on this, and probably rules will change. I will talk about the new investor pass that we have at the moment in Paraguay. There is a pathway for you to acquire directly permanent residency. So I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Creimerman. I am the CEO of Creimerman Immigration Investment. I am in this industry from several years from now. I acquired the Paraguayan residency at the time that bank deposit of $5,000 and you acquire permanent residency. So why Paraguay is so interesting for a lot of people? Paraguay is so interesting because it has a tax territorial system. What that means that you will pay 0% on your global income, and if you develop an activity in Paraguay, you will only pay a flat fee of 10%. So no inheritance tax, not wealth tax. So what is the standard route that you have at the moment? That is also, it has a few years from now. It's a temporary residency. You can acquire a temporary residency in Paraguay without make any investment. If you have a good team of lawyers, you can acquire it in 3 to 5 business days with one short trip to Asunción, and you will get the temporary residency card. So without investment, you can acquire a good Plan B passport. This is like the most common route that most of the people take. What you need for this, you need your passport, a clean criminal record with apostille, and your birth certificate with the legalization. So then between 21 to 24 months later, you will acquire the permanent residency. But something that's changed now, in order to get the permanent residency, you need to prove that you spend some time in Paraguay. It's not as before that you acquire the permanent residency just so. Now you need some physical presence in order to acquire the permanent residency, and I will explain you later why this is important. You can keep your temporary residency with your tax residency if that is your plan. If your plan is to lower your taxes and you find Paraguay as a good option in order to this goal that you have, probably have a permanent residency, doesn't matter. But if you want to obtain a citizenship later, you will need to get permanent residency beforehand. So what is the big news and why I am recording this new video? Is because Paraguay has a new investor pass. What that means? Before through a SUACE program, you can obtain the permanent residency in Paraguay if you make an investment of $70,000 in a business. You need to create a job and you need to keep the investment for 10 years. Now the government add more options. What are these options? Well, one option is if you invest $150,000 in a tourist project, because the government are trying to issue like a Paraguay brand for tourism. Paraguay is a very small country, nice place to go, but it's difficult in my point of view that Paraguay can develop a big tourist industry. So my recommendation is not go for this route. Then the second route that you will have, and probably is much better. In this second route, you have two options. The first option is make an investment of $200,000 in a real estate project, or the other option is to invest in stock market of Paraguay. And you can keep this permanent residency only visiting the country once every 3 years. So what are the questions that everyone has regarding these new pathways? The first one is if the investment that you will make cover your entire family. Right now, you need to take care of this because dependent still with clarification of the government, regulatory clarification. In my point of view, dependent is going to be included in the investment. In my point of view, but we don't know yet. The second question is, what investment are valid? A farm is valid, a project of plan project is valid. We need to verify case by case. So you say, okay, I want to invest $200,000 in Paraguay. Okay, let's find something for you. And then we need to verify if the investment that you will make, the reward will be residency. In my point of view, and being resident of Paraguay for several years, I think that the government will be flexible regarding this. So if you buy a farm, if you buy a project of plan, probably you will need to have the title of the property, and probably the government will ask property title in order to issue the permanent residency. I think that they will be flexible, but again, as this is pretty new, we need to wait a couple of weeks more regarding to understand certainly what they will accept and what they know. So the other option that you have is invest in the Paraguayan stock market. All the stock market in Paraguay are government bonds. You will have less liquidity in stocks. So if you ask me, I will say, okay, you want to acquire a permanent residency, buy a property. That's it. That is the best one. Because Suase, taking into account that Suase is 70,000, you need to run a business. It's complicated. And then stock market is not the best. So real estate is the best option. If you have time or for example, your goal is not to obtain the Paraguayan citizenship, go for the standard route. Get a temporary residency. You don't need to present any investment, any financial demonstration. That's it. Go for the standard route of temporary residency, get a tax ID, get your tax residency, and that's it. Paraguay works for that. And the other question, if Suase will keep going. Yes, Suase will still is open. You will have Investor Path and you will have Suase. So both programs are available for you. So as I told you in the beginning of the video, Paraguay is receiving a lot of new applications year per year. It's not official this, but the government are accepting only 200 applications per day. So what it takes 3 days before, probably now you will need 1 or 2 days more in order to get the appointment. So the last, regarding citizenship, something that you need to keep in mind. The law requires 3 years of permanent residency to acquire the citizenship. So if you go for the standard route, will be 5 to 6 years to get it. But if you go through the Investor Path or the Suase program, you can acquire the citizenship in just 3 years. Of course, you will need to prove that you talk basic Spanish, that you have roots in the country, and you need to prove that you spend some time in the country too. This is a judicial process, and it's discretionary. When the process is discretionary, sometimes it's good, because if you present a solid application, besides that you don't live, for example, 183 days in the country, in some cases you can manage. If you prove, for example, that you have a membership in the country, or if you have roots and you have another ways to prove the roots. Paraguayan passport is very solid. You have plus 140 visa-free access countries, complete Schengen access, and also UK. Very decent passport. Also, you will have access to South America. Paraguay is a member of Mercosur, so it will give you easy to get a second residency or third residency in any country in South America. So for who is this program? I think that if you plan to lower your taxes, to have a plan B fast, or work with a very stable jurisdiction, Paraguay is a good place for that. If you want to acquire the passport in a very short period of time without any physical presence, this is not for you. This is for tax optimization, for a plan B, for safety, and this is what Paraguay means. Real estate, if you invest in real estate, I don't think that it's a bad option. Asunción is growing, and you will obtain probably 8-9% return of your investment if you invest in real estate. I hope you like the video. If you're interested to get a residency in Paraguay, just let us know. We can help you with that. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.